Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create a landing page for a product. So in this example, I'll be doing my landing page based on this mixer right here. Now this is the mixer that I use for all my videos and my live streaming, but I couldn't find anything else really to use to showcase as a product. Now the techniques I'm going to be using in this tutorial can be applied to any product, be it a pair of shoes, a camera, a gimbal, computer, whatever it is. It's just about laying out your page in a professional way. So this is what I'll be showing you step by step today. Now what I've done ahead of time is I've taken the pictures of this mixer. Now all I did was put it under this light, nothing fancy, and I just took some pictures of it. And let me show you what they look like. So here's the first picture here. So that's just, looking from the top, facing down of the mixer. And there's also quite a few here that I'm going to work on. I've also got some close-ups where I can actually see the product from a different angle. Now we'll be creatively using these images in the design or in the layout that we'll be designing today. Okay, now here's a few more. So I just wanted like a variety of these images so that I have a few to choose from. Okay, here's another one here, and pretty much I think that's it. Okay, so these are the images that we'll be using. As you can see, nothing is really fancy here. Now, before we begin, the web page that I'll be designing is going to be designed using Divi. Now, I find Divi very, very flexible, and it has all the features that I need in order for me to lay out my page both professionally and quickly. And if you haven't bought Divi yet and you'd like to try out Divi, I have an affiliate link in the video description below. Go ahead and buy Divi using that, and I have a fantastic bonus for you. If you buy it using my affiliate link, I will give you access to my Divi Blueprint 3 course, which gives you all the training that you need in order for you to create beautiful professional looking websites using Divi. And also when I update this course to Divi Blueprint 3.4, you also have automatic access to that new course. Now this course is going to cost about $497. So the first thing I'm going to do is to determine what size my image is going to be. So I like using squares and rectangles. So for my squares, these are the images that I'm going to use for some of the description areas of this product. And for those rectangle images, these are going to be images that are going to go on my sections. All right, so the size I'm going to start with here is 1920 by 1080. So here it is. I'm going to go ahead and select that. Okay, so what I'm going to do next now is to drag all my images that I need for my website. So I'm going to start here with dimensions of 1920 by 1080, and this is going to be for my images that I'm going to use for my sections. All right, so I'm just going to come over here and just choose the images that I'm going to use. And I'm going to start off with, maybe I'm going to start with this one here. So I'm going to drag it over here. Now, the reason why we need to optimize these images is because straight from the camera, these images are very, very large. Okay, so that's my image right there. I'm just going to hit enter. And pretty much I'm not going to do much to this because if I need to make any changes to this, I can do it in Divi. All right, so I'm just going to save it. And notice that now my size here has decreased. In fact, I'm going to make sure my quality here is set to about 80%. And that's also going to reduce the size of this image. And as you can see here, the size has gone down considerably. Okay, and also maintaining the quality. So I'm going to save this image. Okay, now I'm going to choose another one. And the one I'm going to go with this time is this one. So as you can see, all I'm doing here is just dragging the images in. Now with this one, I just need to resize it and make sure that I have it covering the areas that I want on the image. Okay, so I'm pretty much going to go with this because I would like the screen to show as well as the logo on the top there. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to save this as well. I'm going to save that. And my quality here is set to 80%, which is good. So that's image 3. So I think I'll have another one, and this one looks really nice. I'm going to drag this on here as well, and pretty much I'm just going to follow the same process as I've been doing, just resizing these, making sure that everything that I need is in frame. Then I'm going to save it. This one here is image number 4. So pretty much I have all the images that I need. So now that we have all our images, the next stage is to come over here to Divi and create a brand new page. So I'm going to come over here, click on Add New, and I'm just going to call my page Mixer because this is about my mixer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now and click on Use Divi Builder, and we are going to build this from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is to add a single column. And we're not going to add anything yet in the column, so I'm just going to close that. Now let's work on the background because this is the hero area that we need to work with. So I'm going to click here on Section Settings, come over here to Background and make sure that it's set to black. So I'm going to click here on this plus button and set my background to black. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is to add our image. So I'm going to come over here and click on this plus button to add our background image. I'm going to click Upload Files, and I'm going to drag all my files here, the files that I've just worked on, and drag them onto my media library here. So because these images are not very large, it's going to take very short time to get added. So I'm going to go with this one here, click Upload an Image. Right, so now that I have my image here in the background, what I may want to do is to set my minimum height. So I'm going to come over here to Design, and I'm going to come to Sizing. Okay, so here on the minimum height, I can actually set this to whatever I want. So I think I'm going to go with, let's go with 556. Okay, so we can see most of our mixer here. Now next, I'm going to come back over here to Content, click on Background. Now I've just noticed here that I can actually add a gradient here and just show a little bit of what's happening here on the side. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to come over here, click on this plus button, and to add my gradient, I'm going to start with my first color, and that's going to be black. And my second color is going to be transparent. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, of course, we can't see anything yet, and that's because we need to place the gradient above the image. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I can play around with the direction. So I can add my gradient over here to the left. I can also increase my start position. So you can see here that I've pretty much made this area here dark. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I need to add some text to come over here that introduces what we have here on this hero area. So I'm just going to save this for now. In fact, before I do that, let's have a look. Yeah, I think this is fine. But if this is too dark, what you may want to do is to decrease the opacity here. Okay, so I'm just going to do it just a little bit like that. All right, so I'm going to save this. Now I can start adding all my content. So I'm going to click here on this plus button and add a text module. And what I'm going to do here is to just add my description of what this is. So I can just say here, introducing, and let's make sure this is a heading. So I'm going to come over here, set this to heading 1, and I'm going to come over here to design, heading text, and remember it's set to heading 1. So now you can come here and choose your font. I'm going to go with Montserrat, make this bold. Now, if you're working on a dark background like this, you want to make sure your text is easier to read. So I'm going to make this white or a very light gray. Okay. And then next, I'm just going to make this heading size slightly bigger. And then I'm going to add some letter spacing. Okay, so I'm going to go with 4 pixels. And I may want to increase the size here a little bit, maybe to 42. And instead of bold, I'm just going to make it extra bold. Okay, so introducing, now I'm going to add another text module. And this time, it's going to be the description. Okay, so I'm just going to add some lorem text here because I prefer just using some dummy text rather than spend time typing. Okay, so I'm going to go with this. I'm going to paste it in here. Come over here to design, text. So first of all, let's change this color. And I'm also going to make this semi-bold, increase the size a little bit because it's not quite easy to read. So I'm going to go with 20. All right, so this is looking great. So what I may want to do here is to adjust the size. Okay, so back here on design, I'm going to go to sizing. And as you can see, my width here is way too much. I'm going to reduce this to about, let's say 60%. That's looking okay. I'm going to make sure it's aligned to the left. Save that. Okay. I may want to reduce this a little bit. Okay. It's not the right size. So as you can see, this is where you want to be going back and forth, making sure that your design looks the way you want it to look. All right. So the final thing here is to add a call to action button. So I'm going to click here on this plus button and search for my button module. So I'm just going to say, in fact, learn more. This is where you want to add your link if you want to link this to any part of your page. So I'm going to set this to a blank link, but in your case, you want to make sure that this is linking somewhere. All right, so the next stage now is to further customize this button. So I'm going to come over here to button, activate, use custom styles for button. And first things first, I'm just going to make everything just white. I'm not going to do too many changes here. Just save us a lot of time. But of course, if you want, you can go in and really customize this. In fact, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and do that? So let's add a background color here. I'm going to go with this here as my background color. And for my text, I think let's go with a darker color. So first of all, before we add our text, I'm going to remove the border. Let's set our text color here. Okay, let's go with that for our text color. And then what we're going to do is change our font to Montserrat. We're going to make this bold. Okay, that's looking okay. In fact, let's try semi-bold. So this is where you can just go in, try around and see what works with your design. So I think this looks much better. Now, I'm just going to go back one more time and see if white is better. Actually, no. Let's stick to this dark color here. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to save this. And then now I'm going to add some padding here to the top. I mean, some margin to the top of our row just to center this design. So pretty much this is our main hero area. This is introducing our product, and we can see here the product is here in the background, and that looks really, really cool. Let's move on and let's work on the next section. So I'm going to click here on this plus button. This is going to be a regular section, and we are going to have 3 columns. So what we're going to have here in these columns are blurb modules. So this is where you want to add the features of this product. So here we can say feature 1, and this is our dummy text. Instead of having an image here, why don't we have an icon? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come over here to image and icon, use icon. And I'm just going to go with something that probably goes with our mixer here. And this is an icon of our speaker here. Now let's go ahead and customize this. So I'm going to click here on this little icon. And now I'm going to customize this. Let's change the color first. I'm going to go with this with this light gray. And then I'm going to customize my size here, make it smaller because I don't want it too big. Okay, so let's go with maybe 32. I think 32 is nice. It's very subtle. Now let's work on the heading. And then on the heading here as well, I'm going to change the color. So let's go with a really dark gray here. Okay, we're going to go with that. And in terms of the size, we're going to reduce it a little bit. Let's go with 16. And then finally, let's work on our text here. So on the body text, let's reduce the size a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go with 13. And to be honest, I think that looks really nice. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So that's going to be our first feature. Now to save us time, I'm just going to copy and paste this. So I'm going to hit Command C on the Mac. If you're on a PC, it's Control C to copy and then Control V to paste. If you're on a Mac, it's Command V to paste. All right, so I have my features all added in. That's looking great. Now what you may also want to do is to go in here and change these icons and also the features. So this is feature 2. Let's change the icon this time. Let's go with this one here. I'm going to come here and work on feature 3, image and icon. And we're also going to change our icon here. So Let's go with this hard drive here. We have all our features, and as you can see, I'm intentionally making this very, very clean. I really want this layout to be really clean. Now let's move on to our next section. So I'm going to click on this plus button, click on regular. This time I am going to have 2 columns. Okay, in one of them I'm going to have an image, and in the other one I'm going to have some text. So I'm going to search for my text module here. I'm going to save this for now, and then over here let's add our image module. So for the image, I'm going to go with the image which is already in my media library here. So I'm going to go with this image right here, upload an image, I'm going to save that. So now I really want this design to be edge to edge and also covering pretty much the whole section. So to achieve that, I'm going to come over here to my row settings, design, sizing, and I'm going to change my width here to 100%, max width to 100% as well. So now our design is edge to edge. The next stage is to make sure we don't have any padding. So I'm going to scroll down here, click on spacing. I'm going to remove the padding on the top and the bottom. And I might as well just make sure there's nothing on the left and the right. And now when I save it, you notice that everything now is pretty much edge to edge. Now I'm going to go in and customize my text here and also make sure that my size is looking great. So I'm going to start here with my module settings, and then I'm going to come over here to my design. So ideally, I want to have a dark background here. So in fact, let's do that first. So I'm going to close this, go to my section settings, make sure my background is set to a really dark color. In fact, I'll go with this color right here. Now that I have my color selected, I can see here that we also have some padding. So I want my image here to pretty much be flash with all the sides here. So I'm going to come over here to sizing, in fact, spacing. Okay, I'm going to remove the margins, remove the padding. So left and right, bottom, left. So everything is all removed here. All I have now is pretty much my image. Now, as you can see, things are not looking great here because my text here is edge to edge. We need to give it some breathing space. But before we do that, let us also give this a minimum size, minimum height, or we can set the actual height size. So let's go with that. Okay, so now let's hit save. And then we are now going to go into our row settings. So in the first column here, I'm going to work with this, come over here to design, spacing. I'm going to add some padding to my column here. So I'm going to start here, let's say with 40. Now I'm just playing around with this to see how much I need to begin with. Okay, so 40 seems okay. I'm just going to add a bit more to the top here. Okay, let's go with 110. And I'm going to save this. Now here my text is a bit too much. In fact, we need to reduce the width because the width here does not look great. So I'm going to come over here to design, sizing. And again, I'm just going to reduce this to about, let's say 70%. And then I'm going to come over here to my text, change my color here. Now my font weight here is set to regular. I want it to be semi-bold, and I'm going to increase the size a little bit. Let's go with 18, and we're also going to add some line height. I think that looks great. Now, what this text is for is just to describe what this mixer is about. It doesn't have to be that much text, to be honest. We can even, minimize this maybe to just a little bit, and then I'm going to save this. All right, so pretty much we're almost done here working on our landing page. The next stage now is to go in and add one more section. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, hit on regular. So for this, I'm going to need one column, and we are going to add a call to action. Right, so let's start by making sure that the text is set to dark, and then we want to remove this background. So I'm going to come over here, click on background, and we are going to remove this background. So that's looking great. I'm going to save this, and next I'm going to come over here to my section, click on background because we need to add an image. So I'm going to make sure my background here is white, and then I'm going to add my image, and the image I'm going to go with is this one right here, upload an image. So what we're going to do now is we are going to play around with some filters, or if you want to stylize this, we can actually come over here to the blending mode and go with lighten. Right, so as you can see here with lighten, everything has gone white. So what we need to do now is to come back over here to our background and drag this slider down. And as you can see, as I'm dragging this slider down, it's now revealing the elements of my image right here. And this is exactly what we need to achieve. All right, so I'm just going to save this for now. And then I'm going to come over here to my row settings and just adjust the size here. So over here on my sizing, I'm going to reduce the width to about 62%. Save that. And now I am going to just give this a title and the description. So I'm going to click here on this gear icon. So here for the title, I'm going to say sign up for the latest news. And then here we can just have a bit of some description text. So I'm just going to copy some lorem text here and paste it. Now our text here, in fact, our call to action button is not showing. So what we need to do is to add a link here. And you'll notice that as soon as I add my link, now my button is showing. All right, so let's customize this button now. So I'm going to come over here, activate use custom styles for button, and that's going to be my button color. I'm just going to keep everything very, very basic here and then save. So that's our call to action. Now I am going to pretty much give this a height. So I'm going to come back over here to my section settings, sizing, and minimum height is going to be, let's see here. For this, we're going to go with, let's say 342. I'm going to save that. And we're also going to add, pretty much center this, bring it down by 40 pixels. And pretty much this is our page. So I'm just going to save this and then exit the Visual Builder and take a look at this one more time outside the builder. Okay, so this is the landing page. The main hero area. These are main features. This is a brief description. We can add a bit more text here if we need to. And this is showcasing our mixer as well. And now we have the sign up for the latest news, and this will take us to the sign up page. So pretty much this is our landing page. So what I've done here is I've started off by taking a picture of my product. And then after taking the picture, we went into Photoshop, optimized the images, and then we brought all those images and started designing our landing page in Divi. So pretty much these are all the steps. What I'm going to do in part 2 is to show you step by step how now you can make this product purchasable. So you want this so that when people come to this page, they can purchase this product and then go ahead and go to the checkout system. So that's what I'll be showing you in part 2. Now, before you go, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And as I mentioned earlier on, if you buy Divi using my affiliate link, you'll get access to my Divi Blueprint 3 course and also the Photoshop for Web Designers course. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.